Let's skedaddle. Oh my god, it's doing it again. It's okay. We'll just... feather it out. Okay. Imperfect, which is perfect. Anyway, welcome back to my expanded divine panel of the infinite eight to divinely intervene as needed for my highest good, aka the highest good. All right. This is season 2, episode 22 of Gifts Unlocked. And I left that open-ended, so this is master number 22. Focused on the master builder blocks, I believe. So let me just check here. My mind's in several directions, so give me a second. Yeah, the master builder bonus block. That's what I'm doing today. And today felt a little extra. Today felt like the first day in a long time being back at the office, doing a lot of computer work. And I'm good and fine with that. I've been kind of egging myself on to doing this, and I didn't realize how much work it would take, but thinking back in my auditing days, against my other priorities, it would take me around about 2 weeks to one and a half to 2 weeks to complete assessments, dipping into unfamiliar territory. And so I can't expect like a crash course in doing that now, but it shouldn't, again, this should not be cumbersome. And while gathering the information, which I'm still in the process of doing, it's like time flew. So I questioned myself, like, do I enjoy this? What's going on? I even nearly lost my appetite, like 2 or 3 meals in one, with a few snacks in between. So it was just like I started off without denying myself of personal cues to get myself started, but also those break periods. I didn't deny myself of if I got tired or whatever. So it all made sense, and it was just weird how the day went. I was expecting myself to get really discouraged, and there's a hint of myself that kind of feels like that, but with all the work that I put in, I know that where it stands right now with whatever I'm doing, and I'm purposefully vague at this because I'm sure that energy applies accordingly to whenever I view this, even if it's like months down the road, that it'll still be relatable. Not to just to now. Not saying that it's gonna repeat, but I'm sure it'll have some essence of a problem solver, or just like a call to attention on certain things. So this is supposed to be highly positive in rectifying situations overall. And so if one person like decides like I'm done here and in some variation says fuck off, or then I think maybe normally I would feel a little saddened by that, but here I just know that there's a lot of energies that back me up. And even if that were to transpire, there are still other ways of getting through. And if I learn that that is not the case, then it'll just be a lesson learned and I move on, but it's still over with. It's done. To the best of my rookie introduction in the matter. But at least I get my shit straightened out, you know. Nothing can take that away. It's like I know what happened, and I'm there is a real purpose to getting things in order. I know I didn't lose my shit in any of the matters, so that's a huge one up already. Um, so that's where I'm at, and it's not done yet, but as far as communications are concerned relating to the matter, I think it's important to be short and sweet on this one. So let's cover the header cards first before I ask for validation points on my, or, you know, insight advice from my expanded divine panel of the Infinite Eight. So while I was shuffling with the Ostara Tarot, this came up and I was like, oh my God, I'm about to cry. Oh, thanks. With my bouffant. All right, so 9 of Wands in reversal came through. Or is it 9 of Swords? 9 of Swords in reversal. Don't stress. Originally, I thought this was 9 of Wands in reverse, which is my riot crew. Is that how I read it last time? Anyway, sometimes it's a little dark over here, so those look like blades. So I'll have to call this 9 of Swords. Well, okay, the interpretation first off was 9 of Wands in reversal, which is my people that are down for me, you know, my riot crew, my new school riot crew, and they're down for me. They're here, you know, to assist in helping me take care of shit. Self-care, you know. But here, now that I'm hitting the refresh and noticing with more clarity with my feelings in check, this is 9 of Swords in reverse. So don't stress. Don't stress while you're having to take care of things, because ultimately everything that's contributed, all the action and inaction today was intentionally sound. And so it was all matters of self-care, therefore self-respect, and in foregoing other activities, maintaining self-dignity. So then, and then as I was shuffling through again, to get the energy cards, just to, like, you know, get it introduced into a new reading, this came out, which is Temperance. It says, things are in order, Miss Alchemist. So that's good. Very good. All right, so the header cards, I'm sorry, the energy cards that came through are these. Left side, recipient side is King of... I can't tell with this one. That's why I decided to do it with these. I would normally say King of Wands because the antlers in focus, lit. But then there's a bull right in front of him. So I kind of want to say King of Cups in reverse. So I'm just going to take a gander. King of Wands. Okay, so it's definitely not Wands. It's not coins. It's got to be Cups then. Yes, King of Cups. It's in reverse. Let me get the intuitive view on this, though, okay? The energetic view, okay? So, internal. External. External. Well-intended. Someone that's busy, so therefore detached. Not necessarily objective, because they may have very, like, highly intuitive qualities in order to do, like, you know, they're present but not, you know. So they may have a closer scope than I would believe them to normally be. That's true. That's true. What's food? Yeah. So there's that. Tomato bisque might be a thing for that energy, or maybe this energy, like it's a comfort food, like a understated comfort food. Yeah, like it's the elevated version of, you know, SpaghettiOs, that kind of, yeah. So I really feel like this energy, yeah, what did we say? Detached and busy, okay. undisclosed information about why or whatever, but this is well intended. Okay, that's on the recipient side. Okay, it's just making themselves known, but yeah, so there's that. Okay, so in reversal, if the King of Cups is drawn reverse, be wary of the power you hand over others. Although you may feel confident and in control of yourself, you must be sure you aren't abusing your emotional weight. Wait. Okay, although you may feel confident and in control of yourself, you must be sure you aren't abusing your emotional weight or manipulating those close to you. Is that for me? Is that for that person? Or is it for others? It's for others surrounding, like, what do you call that? Like cross watchers, you know? I think there's some light play here, or my eyes are not functioning in tip-top shape, because it looks like I have some sort of a glow on on the camera. Is there, I don't know if I have do I have a, what do you call it? The filter? Let me see here. No. It's not clicked on anything. Makeup. Oh my god, I want to just like have some fun here. Okay, blushing. What? That's me with a blush. What about plum dusk lips? Oh, damn. Minimalist. Oh, ew, gross. It looks like a mime. Blushing hearts. Oh, no, that's more like a mime. Blossom tulips. No, I'm not down for that. Dusty rose lips. I kind of like that color, but I like this color better. Back to blush. I don't do blush. I have rosacea. I'm blessed with rosacea. What about radioactive? Oh, damn. Horror. X-ray. Dance party. Infrared. Blue retro. Kind of interesting. Thermal. Am I hot under the pits? You can't really tell. This is fake. This is fake. I'm hot down here. Anyway. And then retro. Interesting, boring. You know, just busy. That's busy work. Okay, let's go back. Ooh, kaleidoscope. Oh, how interesting. Okay, let's stop this. Let's stop this. Let's stop this. Okay, so no effects are on. Choose sticker. Nah, I'm good without. I haven't explored this. Oh, retouch on. Ooh, this is how I look touched up. I could go as close as I want. Retouch off. Okay, see. All right, that's enough of that. Okay, so those are for cross watchers. I just needed a little break. Seriously, I was on hours on end doing this thing, and like I said, time flew. So I spent a good whole day doing what I was supposed to be doing. I cannot believe that. Okay, so let's just say, okay, maybe 10:30, no, 10 o'clock when I started making dinner. So it was a late dinner. And then, yeah, it was a full day's work, like straight. Just like, you know, it was, and I even lost my appetite for like sweets, like binging on them. So anyway, whatevs. Okay. I think there's just different people around me. And this is the first time I'm wearing this sweater. It was, I think, a previous Christmas or birthday gift from like a year or two ago. And I was waiting to be able to go out, and I have not gone out. And, you know, just because it's like, it's conservative. It just works. It's one of those things that just main staples. And I wanted it to be crisp without, like, you know, and so I was like, I'm putting in the work, so let's just do this. And it got cold. That's what made me take a nap more than I wanted to in I wanted to start early in the day, but I've frozen to... The cold makes me seize up. It makes me very, 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 very tired. So I go into hibernation. Anyway, internal, external. Yeah, this is definitely the reverse version in the book is for others, like cross watchers or people who are nosying instead of moseying in, like noseying in. Maybe some are moseying in with that information. I don't know. But this is labeled Doing Gifts Unlocked. Season 2, episode 22. That's kind of, I didn't realize there were triple twos there. But anyway, we're addressing the Master Builder bonus block. So it could be like block, psh, or block like, oh, I'm going to build with this bonus block. Could mean, you know, and if I'm missing anything else, I mean, this is also the Master Partner. Oh, we didn't even do the doing side yet. Okay, so the doing side is 7 of Wands upright. So everyone is kind of like has the ability to connect or has access to each other in some way, but it's not without doing the work. And there may or may not be a form of politics involved or a process involved with the ladder climbing here, but like, you know, everyone is doing their own kind of thing. And it could be tiered, but it could also be the expansive, like, you know, an illusion of like here to there. And so at the pinnacle, which is implied here, is where I'm at. I mean, it goes along with the 7 of Wands, having an advantage, the vantage point. And I've got to say that this is not as complex as it's cracked up to be, especially if you have connections. And I asked if this was Poseidon, and they confirmed it's a no, but it's a different character. So, all right, let's get some more information. All right, Segue cards. Here. 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 Nope. Okay, what do we do? Oh my god, what is dropping? Okay. Okay. Segue. Segue goes with these, the answer deck, and then the header cards. These ones. Okay. All right. Segue says, oops. Something flew over there at the tippity top of the paperwork. I am slightly anxious or experiencing anxiety with what it might say because it's turned over. Anyway, truth is in my hands. Okay. Also strategy, and inevitably a reflection. Okay. But this is also reflection with rotation. It has its own articulation points. This is the first time I've ever received something like that. But there's certain angles of truth, okay? Angles of truth. Certain reflections, but they're all true. Okay. What else does we keep in mind? This illusion also may be, you know, that is the actual print rather than indicating depth perception, like one of those illusion drawings. But this also implies if this is a uniform pattern that doesn't change in size as it moves towards the mirror, that this mirror is actually much wider than it appears. So, interesting. So if that is the case, then approaching this reflection provides a wider scope. A wider scope, okay. Oh, probably of not just self, but the impression of self against like what's behind you, your past. You see? I really feel like that. We're getting like the past horizon. That's what we're going here. All right. Okay. So let me. What is it gonna say? All right. So do I see it? Just like that. It's at the like where you put the stapler punch on the paperwork. Oh yeah. Let me explain to you first off my fingers. This is because I had to be economical in my choice for printer cartridges because I don't have the means to constantly spend like 50 or 60 bucks on every single ink cartridge redo. So I decided to get a generic, like, you know, the bottle thing, and get the like a injection thing. It's made for that, okay? And so you peel the back portion, and then you insert the ink, and it's a process. It's a process, right? And the only process that I do not include in, which is also recommended, is like blowing through on it's like a flute, I guess, to expel like the from the tiny dots or whatever. Because I'm not interested in um getting any like toxic fumes in my system. Um, so the first couple of times it worked, and these times it's like I have been having to go to Staples or Kinko's for prints, and it just adds up after a while. But so I can't show you the prints, but I started doing stuff like on a notepad, the notes, and I didn't get very far. It was very cumbersome, and I demanded things not to be cumbersome, but kept economical, and so I had to troubleshoot. And I remember I had to keep telling myself, it's more about improvement, okay? If it improves the quality of the print and it's not perfect, or it has some missing spots in there, that's when I will sketch them in. But these are for my notes to get things in order. And I had to coach myself through it, just talk myself again and again through the fact that improvements are progress. This is hopefully killing two birds with one stone. Hopefully it'll settle in, and hopefully the next prints will do me justice, but I'm not supposed to get stuck in a loop either. So maybe the printer ink fairy will come through and magically allow me to print better copies so I don't have to spend so much time in that loop. Okay, so these are the Segue cards. Okay, so I have the truth card, it was on hand, and the other one flew on the staple part, which is the lady. This is being very strict. Very, very strict. I run the fucking show. I am the client here. I have no need to be soft when it comes to getting things done or approaching people to get things done or get their shit straight. So, this, yeah, that's what that is. Okay. What do we want to say about that? Anything more? this one. Okay, header cards now. Oopsie. I'm feeling okay. What's going on with this thing? Give me a second. Menage. There we go. That's where I'm at. Something got a little weirded out here. Yeah. What was I doing? Shoot. Oh, the header cards. Okay. All right. Boop. 3, 2, 1, cheese. What is it? 6 of Wands, victory on the recipient side, and then Queen of Swords on the doing side. Oh, this is professing not just victory because I am well placed on my doing. I am approaching things with just cold hard facts. I am noting any opinionated, crass behaviors or things that were missed, or, you know, just certain observations I can make note of. But I believe I will gain more traction in focusing on the facts. And with the facts, it is indisputable. This is professing victory for me. What is this called? Master Builder. No. Bonus blocks. Yeah, there we go. Right. The master. Oh, I was supposed to be S. Jeez. Somebody's trying to cheat me out of. Wait, block? No, it's pluralized. Let me fix that. All right, so this is great. This is good. No, gosh. This is, yeah, a matter of being like stern. But this is on the recipient side. Left, right, left, right. Okay, so that's how it was approached. Okay, so we're still okay. This is a huge advantage. All right, so act like it. Okay, that's what's happening here. But the King of Cups in reversal, detached, busy. Okay, some sort of a key holder has a view. If that is with clarity. They did explain it to be external. But I am actually, the truth is internal. Internal and energy. That's why it's accessible. Okay. And then 6 of Wands is it's external and energy. So maybe there's an assist here. You know, like a is it called an alley-up? I don't know my basketball terms. But anyway, let's move forward here. Anything else? No. Okay. All right. So as far as my tone on the aforementioned and getting things done the right way with the right approach, with the right nuances, what should I move along with here for advice? This, okay. All right, it is, again, the Temperance card, inverted, with this on the top. Page of Wands. Okay. It's Mercury, the messenger. Okay. So this is, This is external. This is a messenger. Someone's going to communicate something to me, because this is my card, the internal part, and it's inverted. This is kind of magnetizing, like a huge degree of pull on people who have plans that are going to initiate them. Victorious spirit as well. Not overconfident, just this is almost like courageous. I mean, a sword is here too at its side, so it's also a page of swords. Learning also as they move along, but there's a degree of strength here, like a build. So maybe they're not so green at this. I mean, dude, like I just looked at their back and they're built. Do you see? Do you see? Give me a second. Ugh. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in the middle of a read, but I'll keep it open. Excuse me. Oh, you want to go solitary? Oh, you have a preference for same sex, or something like that. If I read that correctly. All right. So here, temperance. Okay. So this is magnetism to, like, it's almost like recruitment, the pull of magnetism with these energies. So I have sounded the horns. If you want to go solitary, go solitary. Yeah. What's stopping you? You have to include yourself as one of the chicas. What do you want? Okay, so anything else here? Okay, more on this. Okay, so as far as how I'm moving along with all of this, I think it's proving in good favor. Oh yeah, look at this. Woman of the world. This is like the way it feels like, the way it's labeled. It feels like like the championship of like WWF. So it's like there's the big old belt, like, yeah, what is it? Yeah, you know, like that energy. That's what it feels. I don't. You should be very proud of how seasoned I am, how far I've come. They're both fighting for you. Okay. One of the world. Okay. Okay. Although I want to say something, I have to stay focused on this. I check the energy. Okay. Clarify. Okay. So a little bit more on how I'm proceeding along. Yeah, like I said, the more I treat myself with allowing myself to take up space, and with also my time, claiming back my time, and just my areas of focus, just going with the flow of things. Like I expect being intuitively guided in these arenas to be like, not like the burning bush, or like, biblical matters, but rather like I can almost sense it, as I'm, like I do when I'm doing my divination. But when I'm moving along, it's more like a self check-in, and it's like, okay, well, I might as well get started. Okay, well, just let's get focused and move, shove my feelings over to the side, and any apprehensions move over to the side. I get, I feel more ready for this. I don't feel ill. I don't feel tired. I'm well fed. I have had a bit of my coffee, and I'm ready to set to roll. And so that's how I got to progress today. Just everything aligned accordingly. And so again, like, it was just a self-check-in process. And I don't think it could have been expedited, unless we got rid of, those bullshitters, like the, what do you call them? Gold diggers, unless I got rid of those energies earlier, or somebody did, but it didn't happen. So there's a reason for everything. So I can't get too hard, get down too hard on myself. So these, or just this? Both. Okay. Alrighty. First off, 5 of Cups. Having a say goodbye in the prompt. And then King of Pentacles and 9 of Pentacles. Or Queen of Pentacles. Let me just double check that. Yeah, it's the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, this is about preservation of one's own garden. This is looking after myself. But upright. This isn't man down. This is, I'm up to the task. Everything's fueled. My plants are watered, and things are in check. I invested in different areas of my houses, and I'm showing up correct. And so it's high time to approach this closure. Okay. Forget about what other people think. Forget about the impressions of how other people are going to possibly treat me. Mind you that these energies are accustomed to dishing out triggers and being around volatility. I don't need to put myself in the same scenario, though I can't rule that out, because that is what they are, that's their norm, okay, of what they're used to handling. So they may dip into that basket, and so I have to refrain from possibly stooping down to accommodating their regular vibe against mine. I have to maintain stability. And I've just been put in a lot of situations where it's like doomsday. And that's it. That's it. Okay. You have no say in the matter, and that's how it's going to be, or at least the impression that it sets. And so I am done with being proposed into those environments. If that's how people want to act, those kind of people. That's not me, nor my kind of people. And so I also cannot rule out energies that will be supportive or non-biased, or so I just have to follow through with this. And if shit goes down, I know that there are other regulators out there, and I'll consider myself very lucky at that. Yeah, okay. All right, okay. Intuition is on point. How would you know that? So there's that. Okay. What else do I need to do here? Okay. Anything more on this? Any tips? They're going to give me tips. Okay, give me tips. Okay, the tips are going to come from this deck. Lightseer's Tarot. Oh, they're back. Okay. Okay. All right, some tips for me. Oh. Okay. Okay, first closest to my coffee bottle, Knight of Wands, and then Judgment and Reversal. So proceed accordingly. Business as usual as far as the spirit is concerned. You don't know what judgment is going to come along, but in its most immediate cases, it's got your back. Like, you don't know what's going to be finalized, Tina. But never mind. Never mind that, okay? That's fact. And let's see what the next cards say. Between the wires. What is that? Kanye West. So it's just like that. Strength in reverse. 4 of Cups in reverse and 2 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this is a smart choice. Letting go of the weakest links, basically. It's an all-in-one package. It is an obvious, great choice. It's optimal in any conditions. So never mind how this is going to roll out. I just know that I am setting the tone just as I did when I first put in the paperwork, when I first initiated. And you cannot get lost in the sauce of context, because that's how I started and that's how I'm continuing. Okay. Consistency. Okay. And then right underneath my chair on the wheel is Ace of Wands in reverse. This is basically saying, from the great divine, from Hecate, I got you, boo. Bibbity bobbity boo. I got you. This is also saying withdraw from like initiating, like doing spell work, you know, that kind of energy, like trying to force things to go your way. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I needed to do that. I don't feel like I don't feel like I needed to do that. But hold on. Yeah, I don't need to do that. Maybe I'm just exploring other avenues of resolve, you know. I just realized my candle isn't lit, so give me a second. Business as usual. Yeah, definitely. It is incredible how manifestation comes super straightforward. I notice it happens to you very often. Like screaming, listen, yeah. You must read cards too. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna light my candle real quick, so give me a second. Hold on. I am going to put this blinder on. Hold on. What the fuck? There we go. Alexa, play Pandora.
33 Bowls Radio from Pandora.
All right, I'm back. Freakity freak. Huh. You have a natural talent. Fantastic. Oh, thanks. I have it when I need to go sleep time. Sleep time. Or say goodbye to the oogity boogities. To calm my nervous system down. Okay. So, what do you want to tell me about all of this? Obviously, okay, I am doing quite all right. Let me just double check here. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Keep my hands clean, basically. Ace of Wands in reverse is, okay, I got you. Okay, I'm just doing a recap here. Two of Cups in reverse. Okay, obviously the prime choice, optimal. Okay, just move along accordingly. Business as usual. Okay, so here. Oh, dang. Two of Wands and the Devil card. What? Insane. Insane. Okay, so... This is funny. Okay, so... Like I said, there are others that have plans for me here, as indicated right over here. The Two of Wands. Okay. And they have a large outlook, okay, on life. They're very relaxed. They're otherworldly. So when people say like, "Oh, I've got plans for you" or something, and they're trustworthy, there's no additional concern as to what their otherworldliness is. If they're, small town like plans, or if they're big time plans. It's there's an automatic assumption that they're bigger plans. Okay, they're more visionary. Okay, and isolated, so away from the fluff, the noise, the confusion, the chaos. So here they said this is internal, and I'm like, dude, what's that all about? Well, this is attractiveness, but this is also like magnetism. Like, people are magnetized to me because I have this there's I check the energy. I'm worried I have like food in my teeth, but they're magnetized to me in a way that it's not just attraction based. This is the kind that on the level of like occult taboo. um Stranger than fiction. That kind of energy here, like kind of a the breed between the X-Files and American Horror Story. Just very intriguing, I would say. So there's that. Okay, so what does that have to do? Okay, business as usual, and the last part of it is keep your hands clean. I got you, that kind of energy. So keeping things light and forward is positive on its own. Okay, you can't go wrong with that. I can't go wrong with it. And so, especially when there are newcomers or others questioning as to my involvements with like darker aspects of, heinous bullshit. The kind of energies that would do like spell casting or certain like calling upon certain demons and deities in order to like throw somebody under the bus. That's, if anybody's questioning that, they cannot do that against the reality check of me being like this consistently. And so consistency indicates authenticity, like reliability. Over time, you see the course of events that transpire, and if this is consistent, even with the different hues of this, like 50 Shades of Tina or 500 Shades of Tina. No one can get confused with who they're working with, you know, like having to question, oh, did they do any spell casting towards me, you know, whatever. They can just acknowledge their intrigue on their own. Okay. Is looking an entrance or portal. Hmm. Oh, what flattery. Thank you, sir. Mm, why does that card look like you? Which card is that? Is it this one? No, no, no. I think it's this one, right? If I remember you correctly, in tapping into your feed, I think. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madame. Oh, is it this one? Or this one? I think, from what I recall, I think you look more like this one. Kinda. I don't know if, I don't remember you looking like this. Not like that. Nope. Yeah, kind of. I don't think you had a bob cut. I don't think that was your posture either. Pentagram on the chest. Oh, this one? Then my memory does not serve me correct. Maybe I was just like in and then out. Like, I cannot get attached. So, there's that. All right, so business as usual. Do not mistaken. Where's the other card that came along with this? Saying goodbye, was it called? I don't know, I'm trying to get my shit straight. All right, leave it. Okay, anything else? Okay, so with that, saying goodbye. Anything more that I need to add to this? Oh, those are tips. Okay, so okay, highly attract. Oh, okay, this is the one. Okay. Some tips are just for me to other than just do whatever I'm doing, is also to look out for these these better contacts, these signals. Let me just double check here. So the question that's raising in my head is why, like, what would be a signal for these better energies? Because if there's any opportune time, especially when I'm in this state and phase of my life, there are people that are just going to shove themselves into my arena, you know, like, so Page of Wands in reverse. They're the ones that will initiate. Okay, so then what else? Indicators that cannot be faked. Ten of Wands in reverse. They will absolutely alleviate the load. They won't just talk to it. They won't just speak to it. They won't just carry on the niceties of a softer voice or I'm your friend, whatever, during talks. They're actually going to lighten the load. And no compromise. Okay. Okay. The Hangman in reverse, and I will be very, very much aware of it. I won't be creating excuses or trying to fit it into a certain arena or mold or rationalize. It will be very, very obvious. And so, just like I was saying, the more I give myself permission to take up space and allow myself to be patient with my decisions, and do not deviate from that, keeping shit in order, the more it feels like, and especially complying with the check-ins, to listening how my body is, like what I'm ready for, and the possibilities on the horizon, on a day-to-day level, without pushing it, without having to force it. Uh, I feel like the externals it's very much like a simulation. It really does feel like that. Like I get the tools that I wouldn't even normally think of to retrieve, that I would need. I actually have to look up certain things on its purpose, and and it comes into play at the right timing. So, or how to use certain resources, and so that's where I'm at right now, and so I can trust in that, because this new arena of space is weird. It's weird. Like people, I know that there are certain people that know more than what they should know, and they can't be too obvious about it. I know that they're sprinkled about in certain areas of my life, and not all of them are doing me wrong. In my previous arena, there was a shitload that were doing me wrong. So let's get some feedback on that. Being that this is Gifts Unlocked, Season 2, Episode 22, The Master Builder, bonus building blocks. Okay, so more on this. Okay. The Master Builder. Okay, Page of Cups. Continue bringing the vibe. Others notice it. Others notice it, and others are impacted. So this is me, that's internal. This is external, but this is also external. Like there's an effect that, so I inevitably have an effect on some of them, most, all. So eventually they ascend. So you cannot go wrong. Cannot go wrong here. Oh, you're in one of those. Yeah. Well, you're speaking to someone who has spent nearly, no, I would say, I met the person when I was 20, and now I'm in my mid 40s. And so I wouldn't call that a life partner. I would call that a life interim. A huge placeholder for me to decide when I'm ready to really get on with my life, to really grow. And so you can't let anyone nor yourself bully you into thinking that there's nothing more on the outskirts, simply because you're looking at your return on investment. Yeah, definitely. So I am happy with the decision that I made. and I would not turn back. But, you know, to each their own. Justice accentuated and King of Wands. No, it's meant to be accentuated. So, okay, so there's an external energy that is assisting with me attaining a justice, me receiving justice. And I can't say, this is kind of discreet. It is discreet. I asked if they're well-intended or ill-intended, and it was it's kind of like when you almost blurt a surprise out. So they are definitely well-intended, if I were to group them in a category, but because of the, like, shh, no more information, not allowed, discretion. That's where this energy comes from. So just take it as it is. So I tried to be bad, and I said, okay, are you an ally? And I said, psst, closed door. That's what that is. Hmm. Mm-hmm. You're angry now. Don't bear. Um Dinosaur at some point. Yeah. Well, no worries, you know. You're freeing both. Think about it as freeing both of you up, or all three of you up. That's the most questionable energetic three-way ever. You know what I mean? Like, if, yeah, definitely. Okay, 8 of Pentacles and 5 of Pentacles. All right, 13 Pentacles, the Death card. Okay, so they're saying, so this is an external energy, and this is relatable between you and I, on this. So it's an external energy, okay. Let me see here. Basically it's seeing things through, and for what they are. If there is, like, because this is imbalanced here, it looks like someone, this is an energy of almost giving up. That's an impression of this, because of wanting more. Like, you see, like, there's 5 of Pentacles here as a reef, as a display of why are they saying posterity? Anyway, of like, almost like a promise ring of something more. But this is what it is right now. So if there's an area in one's life where it's just not making it, and we're in the energetics to see it through, and that there's an ability there, then address it. 13 is the Death card. It is also an area of mystery. You don't know what'll come. Yeah, definitely. Until you address the tangibles. So that's practically where I'm at too with what I'm doing. When I say external, for me, when I look at that, external is like a different figure. There's a different person on the outskirts, or a situation on the outskirts, and something outside of myself. And that's the dominant energy. And yeah, I'm seeing that here. It's kind of like an open door to addressing that. It's kind of putting this behind, so that's the 8 minus 5. It opens up a door of opportunities. You got the 3 pentacles there. No, so it opens up a door, quickly in having to address things that are just not suitable. It may appear to be a gamble because it's 3 is definitely less than the 5, but if you look at in the larger scope, rather than its immediate form, we're looking at the Death card versus 3, which is Empress, which is creation. Definitely. Okay, so that's what I'm taking out of that. I cannot do that now. See, I cannot break my boundaries in doing free readings. I know you're only asking for a single card, but I have to set the tone, especially for my serious shit right now. It's 12 a.m. now. Fuck. Okay. Okay. I had to do something real quick that was personal protection. Yeah, because people do too much in the evenings. So, all right, anything else here? Okay, moving on from this. Okay, moving on from this. Okay. The gifts unlocked. Okay, all right. The master building bonus blocks. Jeez. Thanks for joining. Okay. 1 fell. Oh no, 2 fell. Okay. In my lap remained the Destiny card and the Ace of Wands upright. Okay, so the magic is here. Okay, and then at my feet is 9 of Wands and Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The ability, the funding, and able to represent oneself. Let me see here. To show up to other things. Yeah. And then underneath my chair is the Fool card. Yeah, this is definitely a new start for me. Bonus building blocks. Master builder, bonus building blocks. Okay, so something's coming through here. Is this aside from whatever I'm dealing with right now? That was addressed? Different? Same. It's different.
Dear Mom.
Alexa, stop. Okay, so this is good. This is good. It's going to allow, I mean, the messages are consistent, even with the decks rearranged. And you're funny. So, this is good. Okay, so do not lose hope. Do not lose faith. We'll seal the deal on that with... Oh, look, judgment and ending. Definitely closure. Okay. Okay, those stay in the deck here. So yeah, this is official closure. And okay. Anything else that you want to tell me from this deck? No, no more from there. Okay, move on with this. All right. The Master Builder bonus blocks. Judgment again. What the frig? The world card, the ending card. Oh my god, that is crazy shit. That is crazy shit. That is crazy. The Knight of Wands in reverse, and then Wheel of Fortune. That's the way players play. All day, every day. I don't know what else to say. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. After this fell in my lap, this is you know, this is the Destiny card. Wheel of Fortune, basically, with the Ace of Wands. They were both upright, and with everything sprawled accordingly, I am just shocked. I am shocked. I don't even know what else to say about that. That's Judgment and basically the World card with ending right there. You cannot be clearer. You cannot be more clearer than that. To have it back to back like that as a prefix, and then the only thing that deviates from the norm here is the Knight of Wands in reverse. So even though I don't have clear instructions on how to operate the wand is no longer a focus. It's like the Schwartz is in you. Like, even as like a supposed rookie in the game, I belong here. And this is my bit. And so there are not going to be instructions because nobody has done this before. And whatever this is a very unique placement, and it is not just inevitable, but there's no mistake about it. There's no mistake whatsoever. Therefore, there should be no doubt about it by anyone. And so that's coming in strong. Okay. So it's a Master Builder bonus blocks. Okay. Am I saying that right? The Master Builder bonus blocks. Okay. Okay. So it does fulfill both terms of blocks. Gifts unlocked. Okay. Excellent, excellent. I like this. Yeah, as a tongue twister. Yeah, but in my experience, the longer you wait, the bigger the feels it is. The bigger the break is. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah. So. All right. Yeah. So for me, I'm experiencing apprehension with what I'm dealing with right now. But I looked back on my emails and I saw the communications, and I was way too nice. I was way too fucking nice. They are not. There was no need for me to be that nice. I didn't have to be mean either. I don't have to be, but at the same time, putting all that extra effort, into communicating with a different party, especially an opposing one, is ridiculous. So I'm glad I've seen personal growth in all of that, without losing the consistency of work ethic and, you know, paying attention to what to my path, what truly matters, personal growth. I'm making up for many lost years, many decades, or a string of decades. I do many things. Okay, more on this. All right, gifts unlocked. The Master Builder bonus blocks. What do you want to tell me from here? Something fell down there. This is the Queen or King of Wands coming through again. Oh my gosh, upright again. Same. Different. Okay. This is it's not, it's weird. I just, so I'm also guided to ask the right questions. So I asked if it was a different person, and it was first quiet, and then they said at first it was quiet, then I said, is it a different industry? And it was even more quiet. Then I asked if it was a different era, and they said yes. And then I asked if it was a different person, and they said yes. So it may in fact be the same King of Wands back here that is assisting and motioning with justice, but it's a different era, you know, a different era of growth, a different, you see, eagle, eye up there, or hawk. Anyway, it could, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could just be a different era and a different person. So what fell on the floor is Five of Pentacles. This is having to see different angles of a situation, and I do believe that it is the same King of Wands. It's just they're a different person in this lapse of time, in this era, this new era. So they're observing different aspects without confronting each other. So there's no contest with like opposing viewpoints. This is just assessing, like taking notes. This is the bare bones approach, like do with what you have. So it's taking notes of, you know, certain observations, being very practical. And you start with observations. So, yeah, okay. All right, there's that. And then there's this one background person in the back, right here. Kind of incognito, but very fueled, very tapped in. That's the area of opportunity there. There's Three of Pentacles here, and then one there, and then one there looming. So there's a balance in perspectives between here and there, here and now. So what is the opportunity in looking at this scope? Interesting. Okay. Anything else? More on that. This is, okay, Three of Swords in reverse on the bottom. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, as the Spirit's saying. Master Builder, bonus blocks. Okay. Observations. Did you always put yourself last before this? Yeah, it was kind of automated that way. My roles in society were usually the case. I mean, there was a certain era where I worked with dominantly males, and in catering to them when it came to like getting in line, they would always would like to have me first. But like, I don't know if that's because of my bottom. I think sometimes it was, but other times people are just being gentlemen. They would just feel bad. Like a lot of them were very traditional, and so they wouldn't like they would feel bad if I was standing behind them, especially if like I arranged for certain things for the group. So Knight of Swords, things are moving quickly. Yeah. So for you, you understand. Okay. Erpsy derpsy. 6. It's the Lover's card. What the freak? Okay, so this is... Hold on. So this is energy lingering. What was that? That thing, graviton? That's what this is. Like a bonding force, a mediator, a lingering presence that cannot like pinpoint, but it's happening. This is energy. They said neither that this was, they didn't confirm as to whether this is internal or external, but they did confirm that this is energy. And so they pointed back to that. And I know that it's magnetism here because of the Knight of Swords. Things are moving exceedingly quickly. Exceedingly quick. Is that proper, more proper grammar? Okay. Master Builder. Bonus blocks. Okay. All right. Things are happening in good favor here. Okay. I mean, I was surprised. Like, I'm shocked. Like, I'm like, how does this thing really work to get cards from different decks back to back like that? Judgment, and like, how does that even work? 4 cards from 2 different decks, or even 3 different decks, displaying this layering effect of judgment and the end, the world card, and destiny, and geez, what the heck? I don't even know what else to say. This is fact. Okay, whether here or there, it is fact. It is set in stone. This is fate. Looking at this is fate. It was meant to happen. You know, planning things now. Oh, really? I'm glad. I have PayPal, but then I think it's tied to my last name too. I need to change the profile. So when I'll check into that tonight. Let me see, how do I have it set up? Fuck, maybe I could change it real quick. I'm interested. Oh crap. Here, how do I do this? So what I was gonna say, I'll say it in a matter of while I'm doing this stuff for story time. I think my ex was affiliated in certain groupings. Like he receive favor, almost like spiritual inheritance. Not that I think his ancestry had spiritual energy behind it, like for real, for real. I think more just like loyalties set up behind it. So like he rode off of not just like the blonde hair, blue eye type of energies, but rather what is it? In clearing out stuff from the garage in our separation, there were these like old artifacts that we have never seen before, or that I've never seen before. So one was really old and dusted. This almost looked like a zippered hat box, but it was more masculine. So we opened it up, and you could tell the energy was just like ick, right? And so when we opened it up, it looked like there was a almost like a fez, you know, like those like pillbox hats, but they're international, and they had like the tassel on the top, almost like a graduate type of energy. And so what was I going to tell you about that? Oh, and it had a label on it, the anywhere somewhere in the box. I don't quite remember, but it said something about a brotherhood, like a certain division. And when we looked at the name, we traced it back to he played dumb with it a little bit because he acted strange, and he we linked it up to his mom's side, which I know it was very bad because can I say, she ran away from home for certain reasons. She literally like fled like a local refugee almost, you know. And so I know that it came from a very bad place, a very bad energy. So I think he wanted to keep it. Normally he would throw that shit away, but I believe that he used it as some sort of receipt that he can gain ownership or of certain leverage in certain societies. And the only reason I'm looking at this in hindsight is because our Wi-Fi password was like it was so long. It was what do you call it? It was the number 2, and then wherever it started a new word, it was uppercase. So it was, he was very particular about it. I know he's a lazy ass when it comes to certain things mm, like something as procedural as that. So I know he could have come up with a much simpler password, but the fact that it's almost like encoded like spell work, it was just so weird. Anyway, it was the number 2, and then faded lovers, and 2 gifted boys. Like what is that? Like what the fuck does that even mean? Like, because he was never really like Romeo and Juliet. He was never into the ethereal or the opera or musicals or anything like that shit. He was into like Scream, Jay and Silent Bob, Next Friday. You know, just like more like comedy sketch type of material. That type of energy. And so like why was it so specific? But he prided himself in coming up with like, it's like freaking ridiculous. That's what I gotta say. Oh, you're in Australia? I forgot. No, I thought you were in the DR. Is that part of Australia, or you just came from there? I didn't see any skull and bones on it, but that was, I just knew. Like, because hearing through the psychic neighborhood, when there was a certain energy that would read into my past or certain details when things would get boring and dry, this person would say something like, they thought you were that you were dumb, basically. They thought you were dumb. And that they could get away with anything. And even when I would suspect certain things, oh shit, what is this? Jeez, yeah. So I realized that. Oh, I could change my name here. Ah, yay! Okay. Okay. Fuck no. They say that I have to the name that's entered on my government issued ID. See? I don't know if I want to do that. There's already a lot of creepy crawlers already. I'll figure it out. Yeah, at this point, I know I have a lot of supporters, and truly, if I have to be like bluntly honest, there's a lot more relaxation that's allowed here in approaching things. Like I'm allowed space. I know I have a lot of supporters that have very strong positions, irrefutable positions, and so I should be treated like with a soft hand almost. Like I'm part of a certain operations unit that is, I'm telling you, it's different. And so there's only so much that I can say and speak to it at that. Let me see here. Upgrade to a business account. What is that all about? Gonna figure things out. Okay. So on PayPal, do you see like everybody's real name? Or can I disguise that? I gotta do like, I gotta check on that. Thank you though. I thought people were just fucking with me as far as like, oh, we don't have those things here. You're varied. Okay, what do I want to say? Well, let me pull some cards on that as far as what I just told you for story time. But he's losing position because he's abusing, like, what do you call it? Like the like a child that's spoiled and takes things for granted, because they were given a certain head start in life. Death in reverse, transformation. Well, it's demystified for that. It's no longer a mystery. So tell me a little bit more on that. Is that all correct? What I asked a couple times if it was correct, all correct, and they said yes. They said no, and then there was nothing on the no. And then I asked, is there more? And what is it? No, it's more like, what is it? Knight of Wands and the Hermit card. They're saying yes, but it doesn't really matter. Just move forward. Move forward. This is about moving incognito, unattached to that energy. You know, once you say goodbye, like who the fuck cares about like what's going on with them? You know, who, you know, like how frustrating it is to try to reset your phone so that you don't have hackers constantly on your back and, you know, tapping into whatever you're doing. And so, whatchamacallit, what was I gonna say about that? And then when you restore your data, like do a backup on it, your old contacts come through, and it's like, no, I didn't even want that energy, like even on. I know that because we share children, I'm still gonna have their contact information, but I definitely do not need to have it on speed dial. You know what I mean? Like there are certain things like that that I have to learn tech wise to refine. But like I said, like you know, move on, that kind of energy. And so, but that is all correct as far as trying to play me for a fool, like always trying to play the easy card of aesthetics, like their advantage, and pretending like that, oh, that they don't actually have a privilege. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I'll figure it out as far as PayPal. Not a big a deal. Not a big a deal. I'll just figure it out. I think there are a couple have paid for. I mean, that have asked about PayPal. I just won't do Zelle because that's like, you have everything. You know, like, no, dude, no. Don't, no. I'll just have to do my research on that. Anyway, 3 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is upcoming opportunity, okay? And just returning back to the Master Builder bonus blocks. 5 of Swords and 9 of Cups. Yeah, this is leverage, you know? Revert back to happiness. Was it emergency, revert back to happiness. That's the one up right there. It's the backup generator. Go back. So this is good. Okay, upcoming opportunities. Yeah, so just all this is really saying in like this little increment is just trust in what you're doing. You're on the right path and it's leading up to something far better. So believe in that, trust in that, and carry on. That's all that it's saying. That's all that this is saying, along with a few other chats. For sure. Okay. Eight of Cups and the Devil card in reverse. Yep. Leave what you do not control. Do not obsess over what you cannot control, and just move from there. Okay. It's just identifying the variables, and yeah, that's what it is. Okay, moving forward. Okay, I like it. Okay, is it time for takeaways? No. What the heck? Yeah, what else do you want me to say? Okay, so for some feedback then. Oh, thank you to my new subscribers too. Freakity freak. You're distracting me. Just kidding. Yeah, thank you to my new subscribers. It looks like I just might reach 1,000 sooner than tonight. Just kidding. Well, the new day just started, so very well it may happen. Oh, the Empress in reverse. So remain objective with the scope of things. Okay, that's the beauty of a kaleidoscope. You can shake it up, look again. If things don't, if you get bored of what you see, you can shake it up, look at it, and you see a totally new, different forum, and it's just a refresher. Everything's scattered about anyway. Even when things are in order, even when you think you have things in place, it really is just scattered about. When you look at things cosmically, it's just scattered between here and there. Just a different, it's just reallocated, okay? So don't get too crazy about, especially if you have strong Virgo placements or Capricorn placements, like things have to be a certain way, whatever. Don't get too like hung up on those things. Just allow them to be, and whatever you feel right with is good. Like I'll speak for myself. Is the good stuff. It's leading to the good stuff, better stuff anyway. And so that's it. Yeah. All right. Let me see anything more from the Empress in reverse. No, that was correct. Detached. Yeah. So in this realm, this is an exercise of acknowledging any triggers as something of the past. Like, oh, I see you. I see you. Yeah, kind of like that. And then without being alarmed and nor giving it too much attention, like, Eureka! I knew, I sensed you were there, that kind of energy. It's acknowledgement and moving along. So in essence, this is maturation on a higher level. So this is definitely maturity, peaks. This isn't just growth. This isn't just development. When you're tempered, and you can sense and identify the petty things, you're just less willing to co-op in that. Like when you see life as an option between that co-op and this co-op and that co-op and this co-op, it's less like cheery, like what do you call it? Like it's less gung ho, like, ooh, it's a new collab, it's a possible collab. No, dude. I've been there. I saw my emails. I saw how I worded shit, and I'm like, fuck, no. From now on, it's a co-op or not. That's it. it's more substantial. And it guarantees a return, rather than the scale, like the opposing scales of a payback, if someone doesn't measure up. This is a guaranteed reciprocation. Co-ops are meant to be in the arena of project architect, where you build each other up. You both get something out of it, without it just being straight-faced transactional. That part is bare minimum. And so there are higher aspirations, a better crowd, basically. And so you don't get that without, you can't get that faking it. That that's true. All right, so anything more that needs to be said? Beep, 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 beep. Now it's takeaways. Yeah, okay, takeaways. So first, this is the first one. Okay, second one, this one, and then third one, and then fourth. Okay, that's the fourth one. Okay, so bottom takeaway, top bottom takeaways. Y'all 16 in chat, say hello. Oh, how sweet. Okay, bottom of the deck. Psh. King of Cups reappears. Who the heck is this King of Cups? Again, this dude says he's busy, right? Wherever this dude is, he said he's busy. I'm busy, okay? Therefore detached. But I'm here. Okay, what the heck was he doing? I don't even remember. What is that? That's the dance of the sugar plum fairies. Yeah, for sure. I don't know why, but it's okay. And that wasn't Poseidon. Is this one Poseidon? No. The same energies. Same person. This one's tweaked a little different. So it's a different person. Same era. Okay, so magnetizing a lot of like the King of Wands and King of Cups energy. So, more of the jovial type, I would say. I wouldn't say less serious. I would just say more open to adventure and otherworldliness. Yeah, I feel like that. That's you. So there's that on the bottom. And the top of the deck is 8 of Swords. It's upright though. They're saying stay put. Stay put. Okay, stay put. Okay, bottom of the deck here is Hidden Enemy. Ah! What the heck is that all about? Top of the deck, Greed. Somebody is lurking. Lurking. What does Nicki Minaj say? What is it? She sings this famous song, one of her famous ones, and she it's finally solved, and it's finally solved. What is it? Somebody point me to the best cookie eater. What is it? No, it's in that song. Her R is lingering. I don't even know what she says. I forgot. But anyway. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but there's a clue in that song. I haven't heard it in a long time, but sorry, this should be clear, but anyway, bottom of the deck is Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Golden ticket. All access. Check in your ticket. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So worth it. So this is basically an investment towards some one that is so worth it. Like the return is automatically there. Okay, then bottom of the deck of this is the Lover's card in reverse. This is ill-intended, external, bad blood energy. Upcoming. Yeah, I forget what she said. Oh, wait, is that the bottom of yeah, that's the bottom of the deck. Top of the deck is Ten of Swords, assassin energy. Kill it. Kill them. Kill these off. Kill them off. This is what is it? That's why they're saying like in a matter of like stand down, like I don't need to do spell work, like keep my hands clean here. Proceeding along, there are going to be energies that are going to try to fuck with things for sure, but they can't compare. That's the obvious part of it. They can't compare. I have a flock of assassins. I have a murderer right up there, you know, waiting for the excuse, like a legit excuse. And like I don't cry wolf. I don't do any of that. These are this is interesting, right? Anyway, that's that. Okay. All right. So 2 takeaways from my super duper fine divine collective. What song is it? I mean, the true lyrics are somebody point me to the best ass eater or something like that. And that's one of the lines. I don't know why. Sorry. Oh, sorry. This is 18 and up. But anyway, first takeaway. Knight of Pentacles. Something is on its way. Something is on its way. Clarified by Scandal in reverse. Ten of Swords in reverse. Killed it. Okay. All right. And then one more over here. Five of Cups. Okay, so what is brought along is avoiding any mishaps, like misconducts, and you're just killing it right off the bone, basically, with having to say goodbye. So what's motioned along is something that is highly beneficial. It doesn't just resolve heartbreak, but the possible conditions of neglect, abuse, all the shit that happens behind closed doors that is unrightful, unjust. And so this is assassin energy. This is Phoenix, actually, rising above those particular ailments. Just having to say goodbye to something that, or an era even, of that you no longer belong in. You have outgrown it. So this is, you know, like how people, it's like you make an appearance. This is making an exit, basically. For sure. That's what that is, your first takeaway. Second takeaway. Ten of Wands in reverse. Having to do away with the burden, even of niceties. Being overly accommodating. Like, let me be your caddy. Let me take that for you. You know, in a variety of ways. Like, there's, whenever it comes to our kid about, you know, school stuff, I have to remind myself not to be like the helicopter parent and informing the other party of like a reminder of what they have to do pertaining to our kid. I assume responsibility for most of it and taken for granted likewise as well, but like it doesn't even fucking matter with the other party. Like, as long as our kids benefit off of it, I'm fine. And so I have to remind myself that I have removed myself from that situation. I am no longer in the position to be the admin, to be the secretary of somebody that is determined to be an asshole. Okay? And even without looking at that scope, being removed from the situation, people have to take responsibility for being informed, you know, if they care as much, not just like sparingly this and that. No, like, so I have to remind myself of those things. No kind reminders here. Okay, clarified. Bye. Extroverted, the master in reversal, extroverted. So letting go of that huge burden of these energies that try to, you know, these are tyrants. And these are whatever. Whatever, goodbye, goodbye. Clarified by. Extroverted. Nine of Pentacles, extroverted. It's kind of burying them, you know. It's you're above that. So this is maintaining your garden and knowing that instead of, you know, this is like a better frame of mind. So instead of saying people are trash when they're acting like that, this is more like you dirt. There's a dirty, rotten scoundrel. They're dirt. They're beneath you. So, you know, what's above that, what supersedes that, are the things that grow from all of that. So this is leverage. This era is about leverage without being like in your face. This is just rising above certain difficulties. Like knowing it's knowing what's yours and what's not. That's it. Sometimes it's a hard lesson for some of us, like myself, but it's done. Clarified by the High Priestess. In reverse, like you can't get to me. I have reached a level of supreme objectivity. You do you as I do me. I've been there before, and that's why I'm here. Goodbye. That kind of energy. Slow retreat. You're funny. I'm glad. I was trying to just read the cards so that I wasn't getting too personal with, like, you know, it's important just to remain that way in channeling. Okay, so 2 takeaways or 1? 2 takeaways for my partners in peace and quiet, which includes myself. Six of Cups in reverse. As I've heard before in the community, and it's not always put on blast, but situationally it is. It's when you realize that there's plenty of soul ties that we have. Not all of them have to be raised from the dead. Or like, we don't have to pick up the pace from where we last left off. It's okay to have to say goodbye, and that's that. That's it. It's like, it's not like the other Lovers card in reverse, because that one was quite personal. This one is just like, the ideal situation of reality check when it comes to filling out those dissolution papers, of the legal way of saying we agree to disagree. What is it? What is that terminology? They say a difference in opinion or something. What is a different? Anyway, there's a certain phrasing for it, but in its nicer terms, agree to disagree. That kind of energy. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Clarified by barrier. Yeah, setting up boundaries. Because anything beyond that looks clownish, or it can be pretty scary. Do you see it? Like, yeah, like that belongs in a museum at best. Mm. Five of Pentacles in reverse. Saving yourself from those, lacking situations like that. Just won't do. That just won't cut it. Mm. Um. Yeah. Like no. That's it. No thanks. So for me, I've when looking back on these, like my decisions in moving forward, specific memories of the worst case scenarios of what had happened, I just, it just kind of blurs, like, it's just done with. Why do I need to, I remember Tina Turner, doing like an interview on like some kind of documentary on her and Ike Turner, and it's just like, why do I need to watch that? I've already lived through it. I already lived through it. That was hard enough. There was nothing, basically reading between the lines, there's nothing that needs to be recollected off of that. Even the nostalgia, like I've lived the best of those years because I made the effort to do so, and the hard times were already lived through, and I've already served my piece on that. Like I served my own personal wars in that, and so I don't need to see somebody else's angle on that. What's enough is enough. And one person did more than enough damage. I this is not coming from an unhealed place. This is coming from I know that there's more for me, including like I don't need to waste my time on consuming a certain angle of a really crazy, unsettled part of my life where I really busted my ass, not just on stage, but also, behind the scenes. And and frankly, if you ask me on this point, I'm more offended by the ask than the honor of being left in peace. You know what I mean? Like then this movie, this angle or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's so it's I'm good. Okay. It's just kind of like a warning sometimes because people try to push their limits in their ask, and you realize that it's no longer out of curiosity, and more so for they're just bored with their lives, Three of Wands, so it's looking beyond that scope. Okay. Partners in peace and quiet. Definitely. There's so much more. Okay. All right. The second takeaway is Six of Swords in reverse. So not only that goal is achieved and addressing it like head on, with minimal but accurate effort, there's peace achieved. Yeah. Okay. The lesson is also learned, and on to the next. And this is also setting the tone and example for people who are going through the rough of it, the thick of it. And it's like some people don't know how to process their emotion or their thoughts surrounding a very complex field. You know, it doesn't have to be a forest, but it could be definitely a field that is has different areas of like rotting, you know, and you don't know until you're like way above, like in a plane ride level, or like going through the thick of it. And so you know, the closer you are to it, the more like visceral it is. And so yeah, there's that. Okay, clarify by Three of Swords in reverse. Yeah, this is ensuring personal peace. Again, no heartbreak, no disappointment. It's good. Greetings. Okay, clarified by and I just noticed, like, in a, what do you call it, in a peripheral view here, is that this is ivy, but it could easily be, you know, poison ivy, mistaken for something else, you know, like so things don't necessarily have to rot, but there could be like a house contagion if you come in contact with it. So in those fields, like, it was just safety first. Anyway, Six of Wands. This is victory pending. Yeah. All right, so that's good, good. Okay, master, or this one's angel number 636 on this one. Most definitely. So this is looking at one's takeaway through a different scope. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next thing is my takeaways. 3 takeaways. All right. Is that the okay? My first one. Eight of Wands, communication. Clarified by no conflict there, or no contest. Clarified by Six of Cups in reverse. This is ill-intended. External. Upcoming. Ill-intended, upcoming. But there is no battle. There is no battle. Okay, it doesn't mean that people won't try, but let me get some more clarification, because all of those cards are correct there. Page of Pentacles in reverse. These are people looking for a come up. These are past soul tie, or soul tie relationships, but they're bad blood. Like they didn't come up on, they breached contract. They did not come up on their end of the bargain, and they knew it. They knew they engaged in fuckery, and entering into your scene again is another offense because they're in it for themselves. They're looking to invest in themselves. They know that you're trying to invest in yourself, but they said, "Who is that? Give a fuck, if I'm already on the opposing end, I might as well just follow through with it." It's that kind of energy. But they have, when people like even are at their best, they cannot hold a light to you, hold a candle to you. It's that energy in a form of like argument. They don't have a leg to stand on. Yeah, that's what that is. Definitely. So when they say that this is kind of like two peg legs, like how far are you going to get away without that, foot, heel to, toe structure? If you're on two peg legs, it's just like, if they don't have a leg to stand on. They have a peg to stand on maybe, but not a leg. They're trying to peg it in like light bright, but they only have two pegs. So like, well, what is that? What is that? That's what people are saying. Okay, the joke. All right. Second takeaway also, I don't know if you read between the lines here, but it was kind of like lingering in the background, and when I was talking about that poison ivy mistakenly, like when I said safety first, what another thing that came up was about contagious, that could also be like sexual, like STD-ish, or something like that. I got that like slight impression in the background. Yeah. All right, so all right, my second takeaway is yeah. Do not ignore the gestures. The Devil card in reverse. Nice to see you again, but in reversal. That's like the third time, huh? Anyway, okay, clarified by. So ultimately saying this is like this is the biggest Zen moment I have ever experienced. It's like my Zen big O like hybrid moment, because like I've never been this chill before, and having to address certain topics of my life that are life changing. Forget about game changers. I'm just talking about life changing. And so I guess with so much pressure from different arenas, it's not about giving up. It's just like, well, I don't know what to tell you. What would make you happy? Well, you obviously want to hear something that suffices. So, what do you want to hear from me? And I will tell you, but I will also tell you whether or not that's possible and why. Okay? Never mind all the yelling back and forth, this and that. What do you want to hear? If you're going to be like so destructive and so like, you know, death defying, and blast out eardrums, like what instead of going back and forth, like what is it that you want to hear? What would make you happy in hearing? And is that for real? Or are you just bullshitting me just because you need to get to your part of whatever you memorized to like talk at me with? Like what is it? I think sometimes you're just like done with it. Okay. Anyway. Change. Yes. Having to approach change just like that. Extroverted in reversal. Yeah. Ace of Cups in reversal. So this is a big win. This is flushing things down as well. Down the hatchet. Okay. And it fell up like this on one of my leg things, and this is upright. So it's not always going to be like that. First off, privately speaking, this is like a renewal contract for self. We'll start with you first, Tina, before you include anybody else. It's not like scratch those plans. It's just starting from scratch. Let's start with you, Tina. Where do you want to go from here? What are you good with? What are you not good with? Okay, clarified with extroverted, Knight of Pentacles, in reversal, extroverted. So something that's, the ships are here. Okay, brought something that's here, but it's more than that. Something was brought here. Oh, this is saying or these situations, but especially I brought myself here. It wasn't just change that moved me along. Like I wasn't just standing on the beach and it moved me from one place to another. Standing there on the shoreline. I got myself there. I convinced myself to go there today, midweek or whatever. I got there. I Instead of staying like just on shore with like laying out in the sand and blah blah blah, I made contact a little bit further on the horizon. I made contact with more than, one element. I engaged with something outside of my usual span. um yeah. Okay. So that's impressive in its landscape form, but in its etheric viewpoint, that's a game changer. Changing horizons in your landscape, your way of thinking, clearing the clouds of the norm, and so that is actually a big game changer. hmm So that's my second takeaway, right? First it was communication, and then okay, all right. So my third takeaway: spying on you. What the heck? You saw me. I went to the beach. All right, my third takeaway. Three of Swords. What's that all about? Clarified by extroverted. It solves. Okay, heartbreak solved. I don't know. When I see heartbreak, I'm like, does that mean if someone's experiencing heartbreak, is that just a label so that they can fit the part of crocodile tears? Like, what? I don't understand. Three of Swords, like, I don't feel the hurt anymore. I don't feel it. I'm not numb in that arena, but, when someone hypes you up, like they turn you on to certain things, this is like a complete turn off. Like, I'm not turned on. There's no light switch. There's no triggers. It's just like an inoperable like area. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. That light switch and whatever that was, that panel is obsoleted. We've upgraded gaming consoles. I don't know what to say to you, but what is that? I don't understand. Hold on, let me check here. No, it's supposed to be like that. Three of Swords. Okay. All right, let's get more clarification. You were at the beach too? So What is this? Four of Wands. Solved. Heartbreak. Disappointment. Solved. What? I don't understand. Hierophant. Okay, yeah. All right, this is being solutions oriented and doing something about it. This is not just coming up with the solutions or critiquing certain situations, but once you identify that certain areas are like, identify in yourself what that what the relationship is truly, what the dynamism is or lack thereof, you can move on to like personal consult. And so you realize some things, some areas are not just non operating, like it's obsoleted, but certain characters in our lives are inoperable. Like that's like stage 3 cancer. That's not uh, like that's lethal. That's what do you call that? um that's fixated to die. um that's a stress point. um that's not just the weakest link, that this is a dying ember. And so once you realize that, you realize it's inoperable, accentuated. Like I've solved the case basically. Like once you identify it for what it is, you move on. You like a doctor cannot get that attached, otherwise they are less efficient and less functional at what they do, and moving on to the next person that needs help. So Four of Wands, it's thinking about, okay, so moving on, what are the operable parts? So like, what are the parts that need fixing? Certain areas of my home, okay, or even temple, like I am retraining myself to put like massage my feet with oils again, so that like instead of saying like, ah, that's that's the lost cause. look at look at her bunions. Look at like how crazy they are. They look wacky. No, like I've come to the point where I don't say like, oh, my feet are whack. I don't treat myself like that. But truthfully saying, I'm like, my feet are looking wacky today. Extra. They're clowning me. What is going on? You don't like treat your shit like a lost cause. That's what I learned from my ex. As soon as like he was so spoiled and attained, like he had a lack of appreciation for the things that he had. Like when certain things would get dinged or whatever, he would treat it like automatic shit, like trash. So like even if it was like a laptop or a tablet, I remember this. uh he would, it was just like basically trashed. And so just like one flaw and it's like, it's done, that's it, whatever. And so you can't do that, especially when these are things that are attached to you. And it's like, you know what, I I'm not going to let them get any worse, because as with age, the things that are further from reach get less circulation, and so they deteriorate faster. You get like drier skin on your heels and all of that. And so this is not a matter of vanity. This is about self-care and acknowledging that it's not the worst case scenario, because it's not like, I don't know, mm, um the standard, anywhere near the standard of what this world recognizes as legit or complete, or a beauty standard or whatever. Dude, you still gotta take care of yourself. Things can get worse. I know, you should know that. Everybody should know that. So preserve what you've got, and be happy with what you got. Seriously. Like people work so hard in getting fame and certain fortunes to like reinvest in acknowledging that a certain part of their arena or life is fucked up, when it's really not that fucked up, like so anyway, temple, home, DIY projects, etc. Moving on to the things that can be rectified. Don't make everything, don't make everything into a Three of Swords, make or break. It's not that deep, okay? Anyway, with time, persistence, and all of that, consistency, things can be like mended. So set that tone. This is definitely where it's at. And the people that don't recognize the point in all of that, they're just not in the same arena. They're just not in the same place. Are you going to ding them for it? No, because they're going to ding themselves, treating themselves like that. If they don't understand it, then they're not applying it to their own realm. And so they are inevitably going to see the consequence of that. And I'm not doing anything. That's not any witchery. That's just fact. Because I just know the difference. So there's that. Okay, that's it. I feel better. I feel way better, actually. Definitely they do. I've been there, and like, your hands will thank you so much more. For sure. You'll think back on it, and all that time, like, you will no longer be underappreciated. No longer. Once you realize that, once you had enough of one person doing that to you, or allowing yourself to be put in that position of doing, and you will never ever go back. I've never been enticed to overgive in certain arenas, and practically nearly all arenas now, when it comes to that stuff. Your garden needs to look at. That's definitely a dude all up in this arena. You didn't answer me. Are you a mason? I don't mean that as a joke. I'm genuinely curious. I'm a curious nerd. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. Okay. Thanks very much for all donations provided in and of light and love that reciprocate equally and therefore abundantly, joyously. Yeah, that's it for now. Okay. But now that this reading is officially over, I call back all my power, energy, essence, gifts, strength, properties, passions, pursuits, and prospects from those that call upon, cast, generate, bring, magnify, multiply, or any variation thereof the aforementioned ill will, intent, thought, form, pattern, and or entity to pass through the white light of the Holy Spirit for cleansings, for blessings, for reformatting to light of the night energy, and then to be refortified immediately, house of free, no down, no attachment, except for all bonus points included. Thanks so much. Ouch. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So upon closing the portals in this reading, I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine, with their appropriate karmas due, assisting with a sequence of rollout. In light and love, I close the portals in these readings now.